So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. In the name mama Isukwa, in the name mama na you biko. Bia. We all come to social media to boast, to raise our shoulder high, saying our mothers are the best, our mothers are the wisest, our mothers are the ogbonge mothers. So whose mothers are these now? Mbanu, tell me, whose mothers are these? So this was a women's church meeting, women's convention, women's conference. And you know, younger and older women were in attendance. They were holding conversations, addressing issues on marriage and wifely duties. And you know, these kinds of settings, they are always structured in such a way that the older mommies will be dishing out marriage advice and counseling to the younger ladies. So one mommy brought up a topic, a very interesting topic. And she asked that assuming they found out that their husbands were having the man start today do kerewa kerewa. The person push mommy push person push mommy. The man just do kerewa go kerewa. That if they found out that their husbands were in a genital meet and greet, were having sexual inter and outer course with their own sister, how would they handle it?
Your husband has been sleeping with your sister. What will you do?
Now, the sad part about this video is that the conversations were had in Igbo language, which a lot of you do not understand. So I'm going to be interpreting the answers to you. Are you ready? But before we go on with that, I told you guys about a company, our Shopplug, who are into web designing, SEO marketing, digital packaging, and you know, getting your business out there to stand the competition, attract patronage and sales, and give it the much needed visibility. So just a quick reminder, I'm going to leave all the details, their phone number, Instagram handle, everything on the screen and pinned in the comment section. So if you're a small or growing business and you need that visibility, you need an affordable website, regardless of where you are, regardless of the country where you are located, they can meet your needs. So reach out to them, do your due diligence, and you can get them to help you put your business on the map. So let's go on with the answers of our dear mommies. The first mommy said, I will not ask him anything. I would follow him easily. Because if I ask him, he will go behind me and do even worse. So I won't ask him at all. I will gently use prayers and follow him. And I believe that with prayers, one day, God will touch his heart and he will stop having sex with my sister. Ayele o Igbo si o. Ayele o Igbo si o. Edori kodo kuyeni mo. Mommy number one says she's not even going to ask him at all. Just prayers to change his mind. It's alright. Let us hear from mommy number two. If I was the one, it is not my husband's fault. It is my sister's fault. That's my husband. I will give him love because that is what he wants. Special love. And I will face my sister squarely. Aye mi te mi ba mi o.
Hey! Aye mi te mi ba mi. She's what?
Mba, hold on. You ain't heard nothing yet. Let us go on to mommy number three. Mommy number three says, if I was the one, what am I looking for in my husband's phone? What am I looking for me to go and see what I'm not supposed to see? That is number one. But if peradventure I come across a message confirming that my husband is having sex with my sister, I'll report her to my family and I will tell them to warn her to stay away from my husband. Then on my husband's side, I will not tell him anything. I will check all my bad characters and upgrade. After working on my bad character, I will then back it up with prayer. Hallelujah. Fire. Mommy mo. Chai. Imana love buele mishi. Abuele mo. Mommy mo. The fourth mommy said that when she hears this kind of thing, she will not allow another ear to hear it because it's an abomination. Then after sealing it up, I will now go and fight my sister. After fighting my sister, then I would approach a man of God or a woman of God that will help me to pray for my husband. Chai, why is the world so wicked?
Why is the world so wicked? Why is the heart so evil?
See, before you guys start to suspect or think that I'm making this up, I'm going to leave just one mommy's reply in the way it came. So if you have an Igbo friend or you have an Igbo husband or wife, just tell them to interpret. What interpreter? Let them interpret this for you so you can understand that I am an Igbo girl and I am interpreting it for you verbatim.
Okay. Jesus. You want a solution? Never fail. Yes.
So the fifth mommy was very similar. She only added that if there's any place, any area she is making mistake, she would correct those mistakes because there is something that made that her husband to look outside. Child. Where is my special music? Where is my special music? DJ, play me my special music.
I cannot believe my eyes. I cannot believe my eyes. I cannot believe my eyes.
There are many similar responses, but let us stop here. Church Awasala, Father Allah. Let us stop here. Kaiwa break. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have your answer. Now you see why we're always settling marriage issue and divorce issue on this channel day in day out. You can see why we are constantly having this bus every day. This marriage has hit the rock and we are asking, which rock is this? Is it Zuma rock? Is it Oluma rock? When will this marriage stop hitting this rock? Look at it here. See our mommies. See society's virtuous women. Society's role model. See the mommies raising the husbands of the 21st century. See the mommies playing the role of marriage counselors when marriages are confronted with issues. These are mommies who are mother-in-laws to women who would have challenges with their sons, with their husbands. See our mother-in-laws. Ngwanu, tell me what kinds of orientation that mommy's sons will have about marriage. Tell me the fate of the daughter-in-laws who would complain to these mommies that their sons are misbehaving. Look at the mindset. Look at the advice. Not a single mommy, not a single one of them even went as little as I would ask my husband or I would tell him to stop. Not as little as engaging their husbands in a conversation. Talk. I mean, not as little as talking to him about it. All our mommies were saying is that it is their fault. They must have done something that made him go outside. They will work on their character and upgrade and then beat their sister and send her out of the house and then massage the man with a love. Call prophets and prophetess to pray for him. Not a single mommy deemed it fit to have a word directed to the person in question, the man you were married to, the real person that messed up. Now listen, before you quote me out of context, nobody is advocating that the matter must be handled with violence or divorce or extreme measures. If you do not want to take that route, it is fine. Nobody is saying that the answer should have been, I would break my husband's head and I would burn the house down. But the fact that our mommies saw absolutely nothing wrong in their own husbands having sex with their sister. Not just sleeping around. Sleeping around is a different thing. Saw no wrong in of all women to choose to sleep with. He chose to sleep with your own sister. How every other person took the blame and took the fall except the man himself in question. How they chose to blame themselves for the irrational behavior of another adult. How they believe that the behavior that needs improvement and needs amendment is theirs and not the person that slept with somebody else. It's an amazement and wonder. Now, I may not put a lot of blame on our mommies. In fact, they are not even the reason for this video. We are getting to the nitty-gritty, my real purpose for bringing this video. I may not apportion a lot of blames to our mommies here because they are acting in accordance within the ambits of their knowledge, their understanding, and maybe their exposure. So mommy, no, I'm not putting you on the spotlight. In fact, this video is directed to you and I, mommies and daddies watching me. It is a good time to use this video to remind us parents that we can do better with the kinds of ideologies and the concept of marriage, the concept of right and wrong that we are raising the next generation with. Because the next generation of marriages will be unable to survive with these kinds of principles. It will not survive. Look at the trajectory of things. Tell yourself the truth. The next generation of marriage will not survive on unhealthy servitudes, maltreatment, and lack of accountability. It can only survive on mutual love, trust, and respect. If you like, argue without purpose in the comment section. It will be my pleasure to host you. Or if you like, you can choose to understand where I am coming from. It is entirely your call. But let me paint this little example. Have an open mind. Listen to this little scenario that I'm going to paint. Back to our grandfather's time, our grandmas and grandfathers. We had a situation where the women would cook for their husbands, right? And serve their husbands. Our fathers would be on their bench, or for those that were wealthy enough, on their high chairs, right? And our grandmothers would serve them their food, kneel down and serve it at their feet. And then maybe go behind the wall to peep, near you, near check, if the man is enjoying the food. They'll be trembling because they cannot afford for the man not to enjoy their meal. So they will stand behind the wall, watching and hoping, shaking fervently. And woe betide you, your husband hits the plate. What sort of salty food is this? Bam! And you'll be apologizing. Nanya, I'm sorry. You go and pick the food that he has spilled. Nanya, I'm sorry. That was the dispensation of our grandparents. Let's take it down to our parents. In our parents' time, we saw our mothers go to the kitchen and whip up a meal for their husband and serve the meal or ask the child to bring the meal to them. Am I right? Back then, the mothers serve it by themselves on their knees and exit and watch your husband from afar eat his meal. Now, we went down to a dispensation where our parents sat down together and ate. Now, there must be exceptions. I'm talking about generally. Mommy and daddy sat down and ate together. In our grandparents' time, who born you to sit down with the odogo of the house and be eating from the same plate? No, but it trickled down. It got diluted. That authoritativeness reduced a little to where mommy and daddy share a meal from the same plate happily. Now to our marriages of these days, you and I, the youngies, the millennials, the Gen Zs. We now have a situation where a man can be in the kitchen in the morning. Everybody is trying to get ready for work. Wife is dressing, husband is dressing. Husband can choose to maybe whip up a sandwich for himself. And wife can be like, sweet darling, please can you whip one up for me? And daddy would make a sandwich for mommy. So that is now can cook for mommies. I am not saying that women do not cook. I am saying that it is no longer an abomination as it was in our great-grandparents' time for men to be found in the kitchen. So can you see the projection? things are getting easier. Marriages are getting more laid back and less authoritative. Odogu, he who must be feared and he who must be obeyed. It is piping low. That is not to say there is no respect. That is not to say that there are no good women. There are. But that concept of our Lord and our God, it is reducing. Now, in my time, we now have marriages where mommy can be doing something else, daddy can go to the kitchen and whip up indomie for the family or make pancake for the family, and it is not a big deal. So imagine my own children, what would be obtainable in their time. We have gone from an era of our grandparents' time where women called their husbands Odogu, my lord, my king, my lord, and bowed down when their husbands are talking, to an era where our mommies called our daddies darling, honey, sweethearts. Now to an era where wives even call their husbands my personal big head, my sweet mosquito. There is nothing you don't hear now. Marriages now are more like friendship than master servants. They are more like darling than Agune chamber one of Obibeagu kingdom that must be feared and obeyed. So if you are raising your sons for this new dispensation with the blueprint of 80 years ago, if you are teaching them to be irresponsible, unaccountable, and disrespectful, the wives that will be waiting for them in 10, 15, 20 years to come will not be waiting with this depraved mentality and twisted ideologies and sick indoctrinations that you have raised your sons to carry. You are automatically setting him up for a future of failed marriages, a future of marital crisis. Yes, you may argue, oh, he's a man. If the first woman cannot cope, the next one will cope. Is that the kind of life you want for your child? Is that the kind of marriage you want for your son? Married to 4 women with 6 children from 6 different women. Is that really what you want? So why not set your children up for a peaceful, enjoyable marriage by teaching them the right values, bringing them up with proper doctrines, and grooming them with a sense of accountability and responsibility. We need to understand that we as mothers, or even parents in general, are responsible for the quality of human beings that make up the society. And these men that beat their wives to death, these women that beat their husbands with acid, these men that sleep with 2-year-olds, they didn't come from Mars, Pluto, or Jupiter. They are our sons. They came from families, which is the first, basic, and most important unit of socialization, and then released into society. So what are you teaching them? What are you raising them to believe is okay? What principles and indoctrinations are you leaving for the next generation? Are you inadvertently setting up somebody's daughter for future tears and agony? Are you breeding a narcissist without even knowing? So imagine mommy with this kind of foundation, with this kind of mindset, this kinds of idea of what should be obtainable in a marriage, having a daughter-in-law who is having issues with her husband. Tell me the quality of advice that mommy would give that daughter-in-law. This is the type that if you go and report to your mother-in-law that your husband slept with the house help, she will tell you, so what? He's a man. All men cheat. It is raining everywhere. Manage your husband and keep your mouth shut. Look away, please. What is the problem? You tell your mother-in-law that your husband beats you. She said, my darling, manage him. What did you do? Did you talk too much? Check your character. Wear bomb shots. Do not ask him any question, even if he comes back by 2 a.m. drunk with a woman's bra in his bag. Please, pray for him. These are the mummies. Men cheat. Come out your eye. Men beat. Behave yourself. A woman who never sees anything wrong in what her husband is doing will never see anything wrong with what her son is doing. And that is why some women end up dying of STDs and domestic violence. And you on the outside with a different orientation is wondering, why can't this woman come out? Why is this woman enduring this kind of treatment? Without knowing that that lady is a lady that has grown up with a mother that has indoctrinated her this way to believe that everything is her fault and her husband cannot be held accountable. Some people may argue, let me preempt the argument for you before you even have it. Some people may argue that, oh yes, Nezeville, Marriages of that era, of those of our mothers and grandmothers, were lasting longer than they are lasting now. And I would ask you, marriages or cohabitation, which of them? A marriage with no love, no respect, no trust, no joy, no happiness, with tears and pain and regrets? Is that really marriage, or is that just painful cohabitation? If we begin to scan the quality of marriages that our mothers and grandmothers had, you would realize that their husbands were just their financial solutions. I beg, make I day here, make this a year man help me train my children come out. Some of them were just to evade shame and stigma from society, and they had to endure suffering and torture and torment. If the tables were turned now, and those our grandmothers and mommies with this advice are given the opportunities, financial liberation, and opportunities that many women have today to work in Shell, to work in Chevron, to earn 2.5 million monthly, to come abroad and have a system where women can be protected, many of those mommies would have not been in that marriage. Many of them, that condition make that crayfish leg bend. No be say them say. So are we analyzing quantity of a miserable time, of years lived in misery, or are we analyzing quality of marriage? If you are married, even if you are married for 50 years, and you ask yourself, you scan deeply and tell yourself, assuming I was a female Dangote, assuming I was Bill Gates, will I still have been married to this person? If I could give myself the best life and give my children the best quality of life, would I have still been married to this man? If your answer is no, then please do not brag about I have been married for 50 years. That was just a financial solution you were stuck with. And that is no basis to analyze marriage in the true sense of it. So yes, marriages then lasted longer. But why were they lasting longer? These are the reasons. So I wanted us to draw out lessons from this church program and the mentality of these role models, and how it is important for us to break the chain of this vicious cycle. Let us do better as parents. Let us discontinue the toxic advice. Let us teach our daughters to be good, responsible wives, and our sons too to be responsible husbands. Raising a child and training a child is not gender specific. All children should be trained well. If there is any moral pandemic causing decay in society, we need to be aware that the change starts with us. If you're a man that goes on social media and sees girls with just hair covered twerking on social media for 2,000 naira, twerking and disgracing themselves, and you know that you don't like it, you know that it is your responsibility to raise your daughters different. So as much as it depends on you, you would do your part to ensure that she doesn't end that way. And so your sons. When you see men beating their wives and maltreating their wives, you as a mother, you as a father should know that let that change of the next generation begin with how you raise your children, with what you tell them is okay. Don't take after this our beautiful mommies that believe that one gender is responsible for everything in the world and the other one was born blameless. Don't prepare a future narcissist for another person's child to suffer. Abeg, ejo, nitori Olowu, biko, let us do better. So guys, yes, I'm going to bring this video to an end here. It might be sensitive, it might be controversial to a lot of people. It might be sensitive, it might be controversial to a lot of people. And I would like to hear your divergent points down in the comment section. If you believe that there is nothing wrong with this advice that mommy gave, that if your husband is caught sleeping with your sister, don't ask him anything, just keep your mouth shut, work on your character, pump him with love. Beat your sister up, it is not his fault. It is this. Do let us know all you think down in the comment section. So guys, we have come to the end of today's video. If you're new here, you're just seeing me for the first time, or if you've been watching without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, drop all your comments down in the comment section, turn on your bell notifications, and stay glued because we have so much more coming your way. Don't also forget to check out the company I introduced to you earlier in the video, our shop plug for all your digital solutions, website designing, SEO optimization, and all of those good stuff. Thank you once again, guys. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye.